I personally believe that if I give you a fish, it's not as beneficial as teaching you how to fish. Today's introduction is going to be on several videos that are related to C2C in doing GraphGAN work. You know the pictures when doing corner to corner? That's what we're going to be discussing today. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to quickly talk about it, and then we're going to do a walkthrough of the pattern itself on screen, and then I'm going to leave you to be able to fish. So we have a video on how to do corner to corner in the GraphGAN format, reading the graphs, making the graphs, and also doing color changing and being able to do all of that. So that video has been around a long time, and I used my friend Sarah from Repeat Crafter Me as an example to be able to do it with a teddy bear. That video is actually widely used, and there's a lot of kudos on it, and I think it's almost the standard when it comes to this. So what we have is, over the years, is Yarn Inspirations has presented several patterns, like tons of patterns, in C2C format. And the problem with the C2C format is that, you know, I could show you row by row and changing the colors on a particular pattern, but I find that people will say to me, you know, I wish you would have done a reindeer instead of a bear, or I wish you would have done a lighthouse instead of something else. And so for me as a tutorial host, it gets very difficult to be able to comply with those kind of requests, because the fact is that once you understand how to do these graphs or even make these graphs, it's basically up to your own story of what you want to complete. So I'm going to refer to that video in the video description if you would like to access that, because that is where you can learn to fish instead of just eating fish. And therefore, even on Yarn Inspirations, the Crochet Crowd, Repeat Crafter Me, for example, you can find these graphs and basically run to town if this is a concept that is of interest to you. We are seeing more and more pop art when it comes to the corner to corner that you'll see here on our selection. So in the more information of the video, not only is the video on learning how to do this concept also there, but you're going to see a whole whack of other patterns that are available where the graphs are already done for you. So that's really quite exciting. So without further ado, I'm going to talk specifically about the pattern that was showcased in the thumbnail, and we're going to walk through each one of those. And currently on my list I have 22 of those, and so each one of those will be a different video, and this is the same introduction for each. So let's take a look at the Bernat bias panels, and it's a C2C chevron crochet blanket. And what you're going to notice with this is that it is truly panels that you see here. So you're going to do one panel, another panel, and etc. So when you look at it from a larger perspective, you can see that there's 3 panels that are being done. So you can take a look at the pattern itself. It has the breakdowns that you have. It is using Bernat blanket Ogo, so it's just being able to have the colors inside the Ogo to make sense. And so you can see panel number 1, number 2, and number 3. So when we go down, you can go and look, and it has the instructions. This is done as regular C2C format, and what they have here is the diagram on how to do it. So you're just going to start with your coloring. You can see color 1, 2, and 3, and you're just going to go. This is a lot easier to complete than maybe a picture of like a house or a flower or a cactus. And so you're just going to go in the striping formats to make that happen. Once you have a panel done, you then will sew them together. You can see that they provided a crochet diagram on how the corner to corner is made. This is just very standard. So each box equals 1 box of there. So just a box of C2C equals 1 box, if that makes any sense to you. So you're just going to whip stitch the stuff together in order to put it. You're going to say it's just putting the wrong sides facing each other, and then you're going to take the aligned edge and just kind of like sew it together, and then you can add fringe if you'd like to do that. So this here would be the bias panels C2C crochet chevron blanket. This is one of the easier ones to do because there's not a lot of color changing, or there's no color changing midway through a row.